beginners or advanced if you're trying to be a bit more of a perfectionist and get a really great sound, is to get rid of any of those kind of wobbles. So especially when you first start, you might find that when you play it's a little so it's trying to get rid of that. This is called my anti-wobble exercise. I think part of the wobble is it's when you're not sure how long you're going to be holding the note for. If you're just holding a note for an amount of time, there's no goal point, no end. I think if you are holding for a certain length, it's easier to think, focus, and keep the muscles still and try and hold until that point. So if we take it in bite-sized pieces, let's take what I call a thick note, so a D across the break. Because it has that kind of warmth, it's got a lot of pressure behind it, it's got a resistance back at you, it's a little bit easier than thinner notes like sort of B and C. So we take a D, and we're just going to play 8 crotchets with 2 beat rests in between. But I want all of those crotchets to be absolutely perfection. They've all got the same articulation at the beginning, they're all the same volume. Every single one matches entirely. There's a bit of pressure when I end up doing it on a video now. But that's your goal, so we don't end up with one, yeah, every single one wants to be exactly the same. So if we take it at a nice steady speed, and a full crotchet, not, it wants to be, so this sort of speed, ta, rest, rest, ta, rest, rest, so 3 beat with the crotchet at the beginning. Nice fat crotchet D. And if you notice me doing this, this is a sort of little technique that I picked up off the Guildhall lot, and it's kind of a click fingering. I don't know if I'm doing a tongue as well. No, I'm not. So it's kind of a click articulation instead of tonguing. Maybe I'll do a tutorial on that. If you're interested in how I'm doing that and you enjoy the sound of it and you think, okay, yeah, that's a nice soft beginning to a note, I want to be able to do that, then let me know and write something in the comments box and I'll do a tutorial on that. But anyway, here we go. So, rest, rest, so you would continue and do 8 of those. Now let's extend it a little bit further. I'm going to do minims, 2 beat notes with 1 beat rest. So we're making the bite size a little bit chunkier. And see if you can really make them as matching and fat and solid as your crotchets were. 2, 3. And again, you do 8 of them. So this is like the driest room. I'm in, I've got acoustic flooring and acoustic stuff on the ceiling, so this is literally the most unforgiving space to be doing this, and it's recording on an iPad. So obviously, yeah, if there's any kind of waver, it's going to be found. But it's good. You don't want to be doing this in a great big hall where it's flattering your sound for you. There's no point. So we've fattened it out into 2 beat notes. Also, you'll notice that my notes don't taper at all. I'm not being very musical about it. This is a study. This is an exercise. It's not supposed to be anything beautiful. It's training your muscles to stay freaking still. So my sound is going fat, stop, not fat to thin. So that would be a more beautiful sound. No, I'm trying to hold and I'm making a decisive cut-off point. Yeah, I find it's almost like balancing. It helps if you really focus your eyes, because it is balancing really. It's balancing your kind of your throat and your embouchure and your diaphragm muscle as opposed to, you know, balancing on one foot. So yeah, try and focus on one point and really think, I don't want any blemish in this sound. I want it to be absolutely solid. That's what you're going for, and just be a perfectionist. Be hard on yourself. You know, that's what being a musician is all about. Okay, so then we tried the 3 beat note, which essentially means you are holding one note. It's only separated by your tongue. So like doing a long note, but you've got these chunks of it instead, which helps you to focus, and somehow psychologically it creates that better sound, because you're thinking, I only need to get to beat 3, I only need to get to beat 3, whereas actually you're holding a really long note, especially if you're doing 8 of them. Something else you might have noticed is my throat widening out, so I'm trying to make the sound as fat as possible by opening my throat. So the best way I can describe that, some people say it's like if you were trying to steam up a window, like that feeling of trying to steam up a window. That's the opening of the throat. I associate it with my tongue more, actually. So if you think about the different areas of your tongue, you've got the tip of your tongue, and the middle of your tongue, which is your kind of and then the back of your tongue. This is the area I want you to focus on. So that area, take that area and push it back. So you can see, here's me relaxed, and if I push back, and that will open up your sound chamber here, so you'll get a much fuller sound as well. So then your next step would be to try it on slightly weaker notes, like your B, palm D. You know, if you're really challenging yourself, try it even on your altissimo notes, or your low notes are hard. Try it on your low B flat, and experiment with that and see how much trickier it is to do. So yeah, and that's it. That's my anti-wobble exercise. It's one of your warm-ups you could do, you know, every time you practice. It's not something you would ever give up on, really, to be honest. I still do this really regularly, so it's not something that you do for a month and then it's fixed and you've learned how to do it. It's not a skill, it's an exercise. So just keep it up, keep using it, keep challenging yourself and trying to do trickier notes. I find, especially when I'm tired, G across the break tends to go a bit grumpy on me and has a little bit of a, you know, gravel to it. So that's another tricky one. And even better, do it alongside a tuner and watch how your intonation changes between the different notes. So you could double it up with an intonation exercise as well. And if you don't have a metronome or you don't have a tuner, I will send little links to the apps that I use for those. And yeah, I was on my alto today. In case you don't already know, this is my Selma Series 2. And I'm on a Rosso Studio Jazz mouthpiece with a Vandron Optimum ligature, and the reed on there I think is a 3.5 today, just because I did a video recently on, I'm geeking out about reeds basically, and I ended up experimenting. It was how to get a harder reed, that little bit softer, so you can use it when you're at the end of the box. And I messed around with this one and now I quite like it, so that's on there. It's a bit harder than I would normally use. And yeah, I think that's it for now. So yeah, do refer to the long notes video, and if you're an advanced player, you might want to follow this up with a vibrato exercise. And if there isn't already, there will be a video on how to vibrato. And going on from the tongue thing as well, I will talk about how to gliss when you. I'll have a video all about that, which is kind of fun to do as well. And that's related to all the tongue stuff, so I'll put a link in the description box for that as well in case you're interested and you want to see more. If there are any particular subjects, saxophone antics that you would like me to discuss, please let me know in the comments box. And if you like these videos and they're useful for you, then do subscribe, please. And if you're interested to know more about me and what I'm up to, then follow me on Twitter and I'll put a link to that as well. Thanks everyone. See ya.